Guys, welcome back again. So it is time for Azure of the 100 days of cloud. Okay, so we finished for day 32 yesterday. Now it's time for day 33. So here the lab title is Integrating Virtual Machines with Application Load Balancer. Alright, so let me go to tfdraw.com first. So here we have to wait again for Azure Lab. You are never too old to set another goal or to drain a new drain. Oh, it takes around 2 minutes. Alright, so let me copy these given instructions first. Okay, now we're gonna read the given instruction. Here, the Nautilus DevOps 10 is currently working on setting up a simple application on the Azure cloud. So they aim to establish an Azure Load Balancer in front of a virtual machine where an Nginx server is currently running. So let me draw the diagram. So we have a virtual machine, right? So this is the virtual machine, and this is the Nginx, and we are into a virtual machine. So in front of the virtual machine, we have the load balancer. So this is the load balancer. Let me change that. Okay, this is the load balancer application. BLNC balancer. Alright. So while the Nginx server currently serves a simple page, just only simple page, so the team plans to deploy the actual application later. Okay, that's great. So we have to set an Azure Load Balancer name is nautilus-lb, and configure the load balancer Frontend IP configuration with the name nautilus-lb-ip and assign a public address with the same name. Okay, and then we have to create a backend pool. Name is nautilus-backend-pool and add to the virtual machine. Virtual machine running Nginx to this pool. So we have to create a health-probe, and the health-probe name is nautilus-health-probe on port 80 to check the virtual machine's health. Alright, so set up a load balancer rule name is nautilus-lb nautilus-lb-rule to route traffic on port 80 and to the backend pool on port 80. Okay, so first of all, let me get the is that group list. We get the resource group name. So I will copy this whole sentence and I will find the Google, so how to set a nautilus. So and then I will combine with the second requirement. So we have to get the front-end IP. Name is nautilus-lb-ip. So okay, so let me join with the N from the CentOS terminal. So before we create the load balancer, we need to create the public IP address. So public IP address is we give the name is here nautilus-lb-ip. So SKU type is standard, allocation method is status, right? So but we need to give the correct resource group name. So resource group name that I can get from here. So okay, that's great, and I will replace right here, and now I will run this command. Okay, so we successfully created the public IP address with the IPv4. So that's great. So this is the ID. So now it is time to create the load balancer. So here load balancer, I will run this command. So when you analyze this command, we also need to modify the resource group name again. So I will get the resource group name here again, and then I will replace right there. And so resource load balancer name is nautilus-lb. That's correct. We don't need to fix this name. And the SKU type is standard. Public IP address name is, I need to give this public IP address name here, but don't forget this to configure the load balancer front-end IP address. So for here front-end IP address name is also the same as public IP address, right? So I give them the same name. So it is the same name. So I will run this command. Okay, so now let me run this. So before we go to that step 3, let me check the virtual running Nginx. So how to check the running in Azure from the CentOS terminal. Okay, let me run this command. So okay, we successfully configured the load balancer front-end IP. So we have the Nautilus VM. This VM is already existing right here. So let me get ID. Okay, so to get the virtual machine ID, I will run this command. So resource group name is, I can give this resource group name. I will copy that one and I will replace right here. The reason why I run these commands is, before we create a backend pool, we need to know the virtual machine ID or name. So this is the virtual machine subscription ID. Alright, so okay, how to create a backend pool? So I will copy this whole sentence and then I will find right here. So let me find like this. How to create. So virtual machine name is nautilus VM in Azure. So let me find like this. So we have the restats. So first of all, we have to create a backend pool. So for creating a backend pool, we have to run this command. So when you see this command, we need to also give the resource group name. So here also resource group name. So okay, let me keep somewhere for the resource group name, and I have to replace again and again. So here I will remove this. So load balancer name is nautilus-lb, right? So I will get the nautilus-lb here. It's a load balancer name, and then now we'll create the backend pool within our existing load balancer, like this. So within this load balancer, okay, this is pretty big. Sorry, this Nginx. Sorry, wait. Within this load balancer, this is a resource group name. We have to create a backend pool. So this has to be backend pool. This is the backend pool. Backend pool. Okay. Okay, so now let me run this command to create a backend pool. So let me copy this and then I will run it right here. So after creating backend pool, we have to check the second command. We have to add the virtual machine to the backend pool. That means we have to associate the backend pool with the virtual machine network interface card, right? So here like this, here. So this is a backend pool, so we have to associate with this backend pool and virtual machine, right? So to associate the backend pool and virtual machine, we need to find the NIC name and IP configuration name. So here, I will run this command. So here also, again, I need to replace the resource group name. So I will use the same resource group name, and I will remove this. Okay, now I will run this second command to get the NIC name and IP configuration name. So here, this NIC. So the lead option is null, primary is null. So anyway, so okay. So NIC list is right here. Here, this is nautilus VM NIC. So this is NIC name. So now it is time to associate the NIC with a pool, right? So this NIC is network interface card of the virtual machine. So now I will run this command. So I will remove this. Okay. So here also we need to replace the resource group name. I will run this. So okay, this is a resource group name. So we need to get the load balancer name again right here. So load balancer name is, we still remember, nautilus and dash hyphen something. So and lb. So address pool. So address pool name is, here we have to associate with the backend pool, right? So backend pool name is here nautilus-backend-pool, right? So here this is correct. So NIC name is I can get from the right here. So this NIC name. Okay. Okay, let me keep right here the NIC name. Here we have the NIC name within this virtual machine. Okay, this is the virtual machine. Okay, and this is the NIC card. So within the NIC card, we have the NIC name. Alright, that's great. So I will replace right here NIC name and configuration name. So how do we get the configuration name? So we have to try to get the how to get the IP configuration name and name of Azure VM from the CentOS terminal. Okay, so let me run this command to get the IP configuration name, because we need to run this command, right? So we don't have to know this IP configuration name yet. So I will remove this resource group name again to get the IP configuration name. So that is resource group name, and NIC name is here also. I will get from here. So this is NIC name. I will replace right here, and let me run this command first. So I will get the IP configuration name. So the IP configuration name is ipconfig nautilus-vn. So now it's perfect, right, to run this command. So I will remove this, and I will get the Azure IP configuration name. So now let me run this command to associate this backend pool and nautilus virtual machine NIC card, right? So okay, so now let me run this. So it's starting and running. So so we finished for the third requirement here. We create the backend pool, right? And then we associate with the virtual machine NIC card. So now it is time to create a health-probe. Is a probe or probe?
Probe.
It's a probe. Yeah, probe name is nautilus-health-probe on port 80 to check the virtual machine health. So okay. So let me find again with a new tab. So how to create from the CentOS terminal. So now we are just doing step by step for each requirement. So here is I will run this command. So here we also need to know the resource group name. So we can easily get resource group name from right here. And then I will remove this parameter name. And then I will also replace this load balancer name. So load balancer name is nautilus nautilus-lb. So here probe name is nautilus-health-probe, and we have to open port 80, right? So now let me run this. So protocol type is TCP. Alright, that's great. So let me run that. Okay, so we successfully finished for this step. Okay, now it's time to set up a load balancer rule. So load balancer rule name is here, nautilus-lb-rule, and to route traffic on port 80 to the backend pool on port 80. So, okay. So I have to find right here. So I have to set up from the CentOS terminal. Let me file like this. So we have to run this command. Right. So here, when you analyze this command again, we need to replace the correct values. So I will give the resource group name. Resource group name is the same. That's load balancer name is, we remember that is nautilus, nautilus, and lb-lb. So protocol type is TCP, and front end port is 80 right here. Front end port is 80, and back end port is also 80. So, and then front end IP name. So front end IP name is right here, nautilus-lb-ip. That is front end IP name. So I will remove this. So what is a backend pool name? So backend pool name is here. So this is the backend pool name. So okay, now it's ready to run this command to create that load balancer rule. Okay, now let me create that. Okay, so we successfully set up a load balancer rule. So now this is the final step. We have to add an inbound rule to the existing NSG of that virtual machine to allow the HTTP traffic on port 80. So we need to know that network security group ID. So let me find how to get the NSG name. So let me find a new tab. So how to get the existing NSG ID or virtual machine. So virtual machine name is, we already gave the Nautilus VM right here. So here, Nautilus VM. So this is existing virtual machine name. So name it from the CentOS terminal. Okay, so let me run this, and then I have to replace the resource group name again. So resource group ID is right here, and I will replace, and I will run this command to get the security group ID of the virtual machine. This is nautilus-backend-pool. Wait. This NIC ID, NSG NIC. Okay, let me try to get this again. So this is resource group name. So here NIC ID. Oh, wait. But okay, that's fine. Let me try to run this like this. So how to add from that CentOS terminal. This is not the thing that I like to get. Okay, so we have to run this. So okay, we have to run this name. So NSG name. Actually, I was wrong here, right here. So let me find the NSG name. Okay, let me run this. NSG name is, oh, this is not authorized. Oh, yes. I need to replace the resource group name. So resource group name is, so here. Okay, let me get the NSG name first before we run this command. Right? So here, oh, we don't see any NSG name. What's wrong? Okay, let me run this. How about this way? Here also our resource group name. And then let me run this command. So this NIC ID. Wait. This key within a variable. So I don't need that. Okay. I don't see output. Alright, so I don't get the NSG name. This is the problem. Okay, but before we run that, so so here priority is 100 and protocol is TCP. This is inbound rule. Access is allowed and the source address is preface is asterisk. That's fine. Destination is also, that's fine. So here, but we need to get the NSG name. So okay, so resource group name is right here. How to get NSG or Azure from the CentOS terminal. Recently I don't find that. What's wrong with that? Okay, NSG list. Here, so nautilus VM NSG. This is the name of the NSG name. So when we see here, this is just the ID, network security group ID. Alright, so now we get the NSG name, so I will remove this. So NSG name is here, nautilus-VM NSG. Okay, now it's time to add the new inbound rule to an existing NSG. So let me run this. So okay, so you will understand this. So finally we have the public access to this virtual machine. So this is gonna be like this HTTP here traffic from HTTP traffic on port 80. So like this. So here the requirement for the step 4 is here is the step 5, right? So we do like route traffic to the port 80. So here is like that. So here we set and so okay, this is a route traffic. Sorry, wait. Yes. So route traffic on port 80. See, this is on port 80. Yeah, so the directions is kind of like this. Sorry. So this is a load balancer. So within a load balancer, we manage the route traffic on port 80 to backend port 80. So this is the simplified diagram for this lab. So we did it, right? So we finished for every single step. So now it's time to check it out and click confirm. Wait, before we confirm it, we can verify. Okay, let it be. We don't verify that. Okay, let me check it out and click confirm. Yeah, so it's been successful. We successfully did it. So the only key point is just trying to approach the problem step by step. And when we get in the problem, we want to break it into smaller ones, and we make a completion for every single step right here like this. So first of all, we create the load balancer, and after that we create the backend pool, and then we associate the backend pool and NIC, network interface card of the virtual machine, and we manage for the route traffic on the port 80. So this is the client traffic and to the backend pool traffic. So finally, this Nginx receive this virtual machine will receive the user request, incoming request, incoming traffic, something like that. So yeah, but this virtual machine has to be open on port 80 for HTTP traffic. Yeah, that's it. So finally we did it, right? So if I can do it, you can also do it too. Alright guys, so thanks for watching. See you in the next coming video. I will catch you there.